This is 18-year-old Peyton Gendron making his first court appearance, now facing multiple murder charges. Gendron surrendered to authorities moments after committing the deadly massacre at this top supermarket in Buffalo.
This event was committed by a sick, demented individual who has fueled a daily diet of hate.
At 2:30 Saturday afternoon, the 18-year-old from Conklin, New York, pulled up to the store and began firing on customers and employees. Investigators say Gendron had scouted out the layout of the store in advance. Dressed in tactical camo, armed with an AR-15 rifle with an illegally extended magazine, he shot 4 people outside the store, killing 3. An armed security guard shot Gendron, but his bullets were deflected by body armor, and Gendron then killed the guard and went inside the store, working his way front to back while live streaming the assault on Twitch.
Hello everyone, it's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to talk about what happened in Buffalo, New York on Saturday. So you just heard from the news clip of this young man called Peyton Gendron, who I think where he's from in New York is like 200 miles away from where he did this horrific act, and changed the lives of not only the people that he, took out of this world, the 10 people that he took out of this world, and the 3 people that were injured, and plus the people that were in the supermarket that witnessed this traumatic and tragic situation. Their lives will never be the same. And as you heard the New York Attorney General, he was fed a daily diet of hate. And I remember I was speaking to my kids about this, and I remember I said that he was into the replacement theory or whatever it's called. And then she mentioned, she's like, what is that? And then I further explained, and she's like, wow. She's like, that's something similar to what we're reading in The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby, they have to read The Great Gatsby for her English class. And in the first chapter is Tom Buchanan, and all the characters in The Great Gatsby, believe all of them are white. And it talks about the rise of the colors. So we're gonna read that part. So in The Great Gatsby, it's in chapter 1, and depending on where you're reading it from the actual book or Kindle, Google Books, it may be on a different page, but it's in this section. It says, civilizations going to pieces, broke out Tom violently. I've gotten to be a terrible pessimist about things. Have you read The Rise of the Colored Empires by this man Goddard? Why no, I answered, rather surprised by his tone. Well, it's a fine book, and everybody ought to read it. The idea is if we don't look out for the white race, we'll be utterly submerged. It's all scientific stuff. It's been proved. And it further says, well, these books are all scientific, insisted Tom, glancing at her impatiently. This fellow has worked out the whole thing. It's up to us, who are the dominant race, to watch out, or these other races will have control of things. So you just heard that snippet of The Great Gatsby. And why we read that? Because I think this young man recently graduated from high school. I'm not sure if they read The Great Gatsby when he was in high school, but I know there are things when I read them, and if I don't know what they are, I go and research them. And if I'm interested in it more, then I further research it. I look for videos. I look for different things. So imagine, even if he did not do this, but imagine the other young kids that are reading these things that mention, books that have a disdain for a particular race. And then these kids who are at an impressionable age, their minds are still developing, and they are researching these things, and they believe in, say, hey, we are about to be eliminated because of these different colors of people. And they already had, that bias. Some people have bias, some people have a disdain, some people have hatred. It was already there in their hearts, and now it's growing. It's growing. And maybe his parents might have not raised him to be that way. But what are the influences in your child's life? Are we checking the influences in our children's life? So he may have, we don't know in exactly where he encountered this, this theory that he got, where he first was introduced to it. But it had to be someplace. And then he went and, researched and did his stuff, and nobody's seeing the signs. And whenever something or someone or theory is influencing your children, our children, it will always show up in their attitude, their behavior, their style of clothing, the way they choose to do their hair, the different things, the different habits that they have. That's why the Bible tells you we have to watch and pray. But of course, not everybody prays. But this is why we have to watch our children. And maybe his parents didn't raise him to be this way. But who is the influence in your children's life? Who is influencing your child? This is what we don't look over. This is what we are not aware of. And when we're not watching our children, we miss the signs that they're trying to tell us something. They may not be able to articulate to us, this is what I'm going through or whatever. But in their behavior, in their attitude, in their clothing, it's telling you something that you need to pay attention to. And what people can learn from this tragedy is, it's not only, hey, I feel so bad. Look at what this young man did. Whatever color you may be, I'm going to donate to the victim families, and then you go on your merry lives. You feel better because you donated. But what you need to understand, hey, I need to talk to my children. I need to know what is influencing them. Because don't you ever think that something like this, oh, my kids will never do anything like this, because you never know. Because I'm sure probably his parents never in a million years would think that their son would do something like this. This is why we have to sit and talk to, and no matter what color, what hue that you are, you sit and talk to your children to know the influences in their lives. Because most of the time we think we are the greatest influence as in parents, and we're not. We're not. Because whatever is your child is in consuming on a daily basis, some of them, that's all they do. That is their greatest influence. That is the behavior that they will put out there in society. And I was just watching this viral clip of this little boy, who went to this black family and came with a whip, knocking on, hitting the door with the whip. And when the parents went to confront the dad came out, and it was like he was just making excuses for this. Your son went to the people's house and did this. Wasn't that a good opportunity to say, hey, I'm sorry for what he did. I'm going to deal with it. You didn't even have to say a lot of stuff. But you right there, oh, you guys are playing victims. In a sense, you're enabled. You're reinforcing that behavior. You're making that child see that, hey, that's okay. And it's the little things like that. Something may have happened with another race with a child from another race, and then we don't deal with it. We don't talk about it. And then those little things build up to bigger things. And then we are here where this young man has thrown away his whole life. And of course, he already made plans because he already had a mental health evaluation. So now, of course, they're going to label it he had a mental health crisis. And then he probably going to spend, maybe he going to go to a facility or whatever, but not seeing it as it is. That was not a mental health crisis. That was pure hate. That was pure hate, because you have to have all that hate in your heart to do something like that. That's not no mental health crisis. But of course, certain people can get away with certain stuff, but that's okay. I don't care what color you are. If you did something where you took somebody's life, it doesn't matter. We have to call it as it is. It's not because of a certain color. Oh, because they have problems. Oh, because they were raised in poverty and then their dad wasn't in their life. No, what you did was evil. What you did was not good. What you did was wicked. And how many young kids have read The Great Gatsby? I'm not blaming The Great Gatsby, but some of these things are like a gateway. You read it and kids are very curious. Some kids would read that and whatever. Some of them, they're going to go and do their research. And if you as a parent don't have any influence in your child's life, you're not sitting and talking to your child about different things like that, those things will take over your child's. And then they will commit acts that are horrific, even though it may not be as what this young man did, but it will further contribute to the race war that they're trying to start. Because doing this, now, God forbid, somebody else comes say, hey, they take out us, let's take out them. We need to get a handle on speaking to our children, speaking to everybody in our family, because it has to start at home. It has to start at home. And these people just went to a supermarket, that we go all the time. We always need to go to the supermarket for a quick run, or you have a day that you set up that you buy the majority of your things, and not knowing that day somebody planned to take them out, and actually did take out and took out people that were a very vital part to the community. And it's sad we have come to this, and we don't see where we have reached in a society that we have so much hate for a race that it could build up and build up. Because sometimes, it starts with being passive aggressive, blocking somebody out of an opportunity, calling the police or whatever, telling lies about a person. But then that's how it starts. And if you're immersing yourself in things, and the media doesn't help, because the media doesn't never show certain races in a good light, and that contributes to that, and then it grows and grows, and then we get in stuff like this. We get in stuff that people may not, the person may not, take out 10 lives, 13 lives, but you take out one, you take out two, you hurt this person. I just don't understand. But talk to your children, and to tell them that, hey, this was this young man, this is what he chose to do. Not everybody that's his color is that way. Sometimes we have to make that distinction too. Hey, not everybody that his color is that way. That was him who did that. That was him who decided to do that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.